But on the Wellness Connection, today's Tuesday. We got a little bit of a late start today. Actually got locked out of the building. Craziness, you know. So we're here. We're getting rolling. Today we're going to be talking about aerobic exercise. It's actually part 3 of the part 6 series. Part 6? 6-part series. And but before we get going, let's briefly go over what we kind of went over the first two weeks that we did this. We talked about our macronutrients, carbohydrates, fats, proteins, and we talked about percentages. You know, you want to try to get 40% fats, but good fats, right? I like avocados, nuts, berries. There are some beans that are really good for that. Coconut oil. Almond peanut butter, which is really good. And carbohydrates have to be non-processed. Usually if it comes out of a can or a box, it's really not the greatest thing. Sometimes you can. If it's organic, it's still not the best. Fresh is always better. But anything that's certified organic is the way to go. And then your proteins, which are the building blocks of your body, which are essential to rebuilding muscle, for enzymes that help us recover from day-to-day breakdowns. So you're looking about 40% fats, 30% carbohydrates, and 30% proteins. So we talked a little bit about that. And we have a little bit of interference here, which is okay. Anyways, what I forgot to say is we're here on churchtalkradio.com, as always, on Tuesday. Also Facebook Live. So if anybody has any comments about any type of exercise, you can just leave them the comments below, and I will get to them and answer you right back. And also the phone number here is whatever it is. I'm going to go find it in a minute. I know I have the phone number. There we go. I have it right here. I think I have it memorized by now. 631-766-9931. And have any questions, you can call in at any time, and I will do my best to answer them. So we went over the macronutrients. We also talked about how carbohydrates are more like a gasoline. You can be considered like, let's look at it as gasoline, where you can burn it or you can store it, and those are the only two things you can do. Fats and proteins, on the other hand, can be changed and morphed into other things that our body needs. So that's really a cool thing with that. And as far as excessive weight, it's usually due to excessive carbohydrates. And it's usually not excessive good carbohydrates. It's the processed stuff. It's the sugars, the yodels, the cakes, the ice creams, any kind of processed breads. Growing up, we had a lot of that because my mom, on one side was Italian, the other side was Spanish and Puerto Rican. So, the meals were huge, and we had a lot of bread. Nowadays, we know that not supposed to have that much bread, and if we do have bread, like if I have bread, it's gluten-free. It doesn't taste quite the same, but they're getting actually better at that. And then we also talked about flexibility, as far as a warm-up or part of your warm-up before your exercise, and how important lengthening our muscles are to prevent injuries. Usually take about 10-15 minutes to warm up before light exercise, or we're just walking on a treadmill, and you can go to actually start working out after you've done that, hitting the weights if that's what you do, or you can and then you can do your flexibility stretching afterwards, or you can do it right there. I tend to do it afterwards and in between. While I work up a certain body part, I'll stretch it in between. And it has to be like a light stretch. We don't bounce. It's nothing, really hard. We lengthen the muscles, prevents injuries. So now we get into today's conversation, which will be aerobic exercise. And I pulled up some interesting things that I'm just basically going to read right off here so I don't miss any of the facts and leave anything out. So the first thing that you actually need to know is, about exercise is if you're a couch potato, it can literally kill you, right? And it doesn't matter what kind of exercise you do, but you should be doing something. Right now the basketball thing was really huge. I mean, that's great exercise, running up and down all the time. It's a big aerobic exercise because it really pushes you and it stimulates the heart and the blood to move. But getting back to this article here, more deaths are attributed to sedentary lifestyle than even smoking. I read that. That was kind of an eye-opener. You'd think smoking is like number one thing, right? But it's inactivity. It has been estimated that 20% of all deaths of people 35 and older, 35, that's pretty young, 35 and older, attributed to 45% of men and 28% in women. The risk of dying, I missed the spot. Let's try that again. It's been estimated that 20% of all deaths of people 35 and older are attributed to a lack of physical exercise. Okay, so now, 35, I could see if they said, I was thinking, 35 is young. If it was 60, which is, I'm really close to 60 now, believe it or not. I can't believe it. Time just flies, just waits for nobody. Anyways, so lack of physical activity. The risk of dying from cancer increases by 45% in men and 28% in women. The risk of dying of a respiratory ailment is 92% higher in men than for women. It is only 75%, which is still pretty high. And the risk of dying from heart disease is 52% higher in men and 28% higher in women. Now, I'm looking, I read this as, why is it the men that are, have much more increased risk? The first thing I thought about was stress, but that was many years ago where, men were under a lot more stress than women. Now women do the same things that we do, and they're catching up with a lot of these ailments like with heart disease and all kinds of other ailments that women get that men used to get because we share the same lifestyle these days. Also, maybe the women's bodies are just stronger than ours. They're made to last more than us. If you think about it, the women had to carry, the tribe, right? They had to make sure that everybody was healthy and they were in charge of reproduction and all that crazy stuff, which is, maybe that's how God made it, to be a stronger human being than a man. Because, think about it, in the long scheme of things, men don't really need to be around. You hunt and you kill and you brought back the food, but women could do that too. And look at the lions, right? The male lion just hangs out and is his lazy self, and then the female lions go out and they do the attacking and feeding. So what the heck do you need them for? I don't know, crazy stuff. I just, one thing I do know that most men don't really want to listen to this, but women are smarter than we are. And everything. So just get that through your heads. If you think you got it over on your wife, guess what? You don't. She's got it over on you. And being part of wellness is kind of to understand how everything works together, especially in a relationship. But that's a whole nother subject. So let's get back to aerobic. I don't know how I got off onto that, but aerobics. Okay, so by moving muscles, ligaments, and limbs, you actually are massaging the tissue around the organs, bringing more oxygen and enhancing their flexibility and your organs. Okay, so you also move lymph around the body, and the lymph must be moved through physical activity alone. Right? So your lymph system is like an autoimmune type of thing. It's for immune system. It gathers up all the materials, all the garbage in your body, and then it gets flushed out through the lymph system. And the lymph system doesn't have a heart like cardiovascular has. So, your heart, even though you're sitting and doing nothing, your blood is still getting pumped around your body. Not so with your lymph system. It just sits there, all right? And which is one of the reasons why you get all these ailments is because as the toxins build up, your body can't deal with them, and then it changes your body into more of an acidic state. Now, once you get into acidic state, cancer cells can proliferate. Wow, acidic state, proliferate. I made a rhyme. I kill myself sometimes. All right, so again, in other words, we talked about sitting down. So you really got to move. It also says it is also believed that regular exercise can lead to substantial benefits to the immune system. We just talked about that. But the thing is, with aerobic activity, is you really got to push yourself a little bit. If you're just walking and you're not really breaking a sweat and you're talking to the people hanging out, whether you're inside or outside, I see it in the gym all the time. You get lines of these treadmills and people are just walking on them. Now, if you're going to walk for a half hour, 45 minutes, that's great. If you've never done it before, any kind of exercise, any kind of movement is going to help. But I see these people there for years, and they're doing the same thing. That's not really going to push your cardiovascular system. It may allow your body to break down more fats and give you some more energy that way, but you're not going to push that heart. And for me, I'd rather have a stronger heart than lose some weight, because this way your heart can deal with a lot more stress. Everybody's stressed these days, especially financially. You don't know where the economy's going. It's just a strange thing. So we'll just leave it at that. So a minimum of 30 minutes, up to 6 days, 5-6 days a week. That's what I'm saying. Some of the books are saying 4 days a week, but it's got to be some kind of a regular basis. At least 30 minutes of aerobic exercise needs to be done. All right, and that also is, anytime you do any kind of exercise, it helps lower your stress levels. For me, if I miss a week due to work or whatever, if I'm just get a little lazy and I don't go, it's my sanity. I kind of get a little more stressed out. Things bother me a little bit more. But when I'm in the gym and I'm getting all that out of my system, it helps a lot. So just to relieve your stress alone is worth going and doing something. Even if you're going to go outside and just walk around. The weather's finally starting to look like it's summertime a little bit. You can go out there and start getting some sun, which is important. Your body will take that sunlight and convert into vitamin D, which we talked a little bit about way back when. That vitamin D is used just about every chemical reaction in our body. It's needed for brain function. It's needed for muscle function, nervous function, cardiovascular function. It's huge. And also, it's probably the biggest supplement that we're lacking, because even when it's nice out, we're stuck inside working. So we don't get enough of that. If you're not taking a supplement, D3, 5,000 to 10,000 milligrams a day, I use that milligrams, you're doing yourself a disservice. So there is a specific blood test that we test for that in the office. Again, my office, I didn't say this because was a little rushed because I got here a little late. So the name of my office is Total Health Wellness Center, and it's in Sayville at 4844 Sunrise Highway. The phone number there at the office is 631-991-3492. If you don't get through to the radio station, if you think of a question after this is over, you can always call my office, leave a message, and I'll get back to you and make sure that I get your questions answered. But what we do at the office is we do comprehensive blood work. Pretty extensive. We'll check everything, how your body functions together, and see what you're deficient in or what your body's lacking, and using natural methods, right? So there's no medications. We're using nutrition, vitamin supplements, and protein powders if necessary, to put together a very specific program for anybody who wants it, to help them with their, could be weight loss, it could be diabetes, it could be high cholesterol, ADD, a lot of things, that are organic, quote unquote, organic in nature, that would go away. I was talking to my wife yesterday, and we were just in the store, and I'm just looking at what people are buying in the grocery store because they just don't know any better, for the most part. I think 75% of all these ailments that we have, that we take medications for, would just be gone if everybody ate better. And if the government supplied everybody with a better food instead of having it contaminated with all kinds of chemicals and herbicides and pesticides and whatnot. So, but again, people are starting to wake up. There was my mom called me yesterday, and she saw a commercial or something about how the food's contaminated, and I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. So people are starting to wake up a little bit, and hopefully the government will wake up and change things and get rid of all the GMO foods, and a lot of the countries that don't even have GMO farms anymore. The only thing with that is it's money, and it's big business, big bucks. Monsanto's corporation is the corporation that makes Roundup, that kills all the weeds, but also the pesticides that are used in growing the foods that we have. So it's huge money, and I don't know if our greedy government would be willing to give that up like the other governments have. But anyway, let's get back. I go off on tangents, so at least it's all related to good health. It's really, it's cool stuff. So exercise consists of 3 different things: aerobic training, strength training, and flexibility. So we're doing the aerobic part today. The flexibility we did last time, and the strength training we'll get into next week on Tuesday. That's the thing that most people are interested, at least most men are interested in going out there and lifting and getting bigger muscles, So we'll talk about that next week. But there's many different things you can do for cardiovascular. Even swimming. You might say, like me, I have bad knees, I can't run. And when I go to the gym, there's elliptical trainers and things that don't put stress, where I can actually build up really fast as far as speed goes, and it's not going to affect my knees, and I can get a good cardiovascular workout out of that. Swimming is something else you could do. You could say, oh, my shoulder, I got a lot of arthritis. If you go in a swimming pool, there's buoyancy there. And so you can do your swimming, you can do your laps. I sink. I can't tell you. I used to be a good swimmer. I don't know what happened. One day, I was in the lake and I tried swimming. I was like, I didn't last too long. I thought I was going to drown. It's crazy. I guess it's like anything else. If you don't use it, you'll lose it. So, but swimming, is a very good cardiovascular all-around exercise, because you're kicking and using your arms and your shoulders and your legs and all that other stuff. So, that's really a good thing to do. Just be aware of what your body's telling you. It's going to tell you if you're overdoing it. You don't want to overtrain also, because if you overtrain, it's just as bad as not training at all. Because overtraining can really beat the heck out of your immune system, and it can make you tired all the time. If you're wondering, like, well, man, I'm at the gym 7 days a week. Why am I so tired? And then I'm getting sick all the time, and I take in my vitamins. Because your body is not recuperating. You're breaking it down to the point where nothing is really functioning as you should be. And if you're to that point, you might need to take a whole week off, right? Rest a little bit. Rest is important. You got to sleep. None of us really sleep anymore. Every time I talk to people, I don't. We get in conversations because our minds, they don't stop. They just keep going. Unfortunately, we don't have a shut-off button with that, and just listen to what your body's saying, and everything will be good. So again, remember to challenge yourself. Good 30 minutes a day. At least 4 times a week. If you haven't never done anything before, just take it slow. Walk, and if you start getting some muscle soreness after the fact, drink plenty of water, take your vitamins. Give me a call, 631-991-3492. If you just want to discuss a few things on the phone about what you need to do, we can help you with that. And again, this is churchtalkradio.com. You can go on there and find a lot of different cool things that you can listen to and learn from. And okay, I thought it was 12:30 already. I was going to say, I thought we zipped right through all this stuff. So, Okay, also, if you overdo it, your immune system, again, gets compromised. And if your immune system gets compromised, then you're going to have some issues, not only with, being sick, but bacteria can build up in your body, and it doesn't get, your lymph system doesn't really function. Even though you're exercising and you're pushing it through, your body's not doing what it's supposed to be doing, and you end up losing that ability to get rid of the junk that's all built up in your lymphatic system. So I think that's all I have for aerobic training today. But we could talk a little bit more about foods. People ask me, what are some of the good things that you could eat? Right? Potatoes, used to be a great thing, right? But and in the skin too, people peel off the skin. But do you know that most of the vitamins in a potato is in the skin? White potatoes are okay, but sweet potatoes are even better. They're high in antioxidants and they're high in vitamins. Antioxidants. If you're not really sure what antioxidant is a chemical or it's a type of vitamin kind of thing. It's not really a vitamin, but once you ingest it, it helps get rid of what's called free radicals, which are things that can destroy your body. Free radicals come from anything that we eat that's not healthy. Could be, could be a lot of sugar. It could be a lot of processed foods, and it could be foods that like tomatoes, eggplant, any cucumbers, the things that are not truly organic and have herbicides in them and pesticides in them. And once that builds up in your body, it gets to the point where your body can't handle it. But these antioxidants can help your body rid itself of these things before they actually can cause a disease or can cause some kind of issue in your body. Vitamin C is a great antioxidant. Vitamin E is a great antioxidant. You can go online and find really good ones, but if you don't really know what you're looking for, the best thing to do, the best thing to do is come to my office and I will help you with it. But to have, go to a real vitamin store. You don't want to go to a Walmart or a Kmart and just pick up something that says antioxidants, because first you don't even know if it's going to work. You don't know how it's processed. It could be over-processed. And if it's over-processed, that's a bad thing because, again, it causes your body to go into an acid state. And then your body breaks down even further. So you can go and actually talk to a professional at one of those stores, and they will help you out with that. Vitamin D3, too, is also really important for that. So fruits and veggies, right? You need to have actually 4 to 5 servings a day of fruits and vegetables. Again, organic if possible. Things with heavy rinds on them, like a banana or an orange. If because I know it's expensive, it can be 30 to 40% more than other foods. You can get away with that being non-organic as long as you take off the rinds and everything, and you eat the fruits. Tomatoes, though, are actually pretty bad, and strawberries. Those are the 2 highest chemical content foods that we have for sun. I don't know why it is, but so at least get tomatoes, and get eggplant is another one, and strawberries. Make sure that those are organic at the very least. And have a salad every day. Make a salad every day with some either arugula or spinach, kale. There's a lot of good vegetables, and not so much the iceberg lettuce. I think everybody knows that iceberg lettuce is just a waste for your body anyways. So we're coming to an end here. I apologize for being late, but we did get through what we needed to get through today. I did talk a little fast, but make sure you're getting that aerobic activity in 4 to 5 times a week, 30 minutes at a pop, and just push yourself. Get better every time you go, and make sure every week you're able to do it a little bit harder, and it'll all work out. Dr. Frank Gomez signing off here on ChurchTalkRadio.com, Total Health Wellness Center in Sayville, and we will talk to you next week.